Hello everyone, welcome to West Ham Fan TV's Monday Musings, the Monday show that's on a Wednesday now because I was ill yesterday. And but the Monday show where I give you a load of subjects on a Monday for you to muse over and muse over myself. So I was going to do 2 episodes this week. I said there was going to be 2 on Twitter, but actually I've gone back to last week's stuff and it's a little bit irrelevant now because some of the stuff has sort of reared its ugly head, and injuries to Sacco and things have made a couple of things that are quite irrelevant now. So I'm going to start with this week's one, and let's start straight away with subject number 1 that I gave you to muse over this week, and this is Slaven Bilic blames the training intensity for a reason that we're getting beat. Has he lost the dressing room, and do we need a change now? Now, I'm a little bit perplexed by Slaven Bilic because I don't think we should change manager. I've never been a fan that thinks you should jump ship straight away concerning the manager, but when I look at Bilic's body language and the way the team's performing at the minute, the intensity isn't there. He's correct, but that is his job, to get the intensity in the training. You know, I see some stuff from Rio Ferdinand in the week saying, look, when you bring that intensity, you can't just switch it on and off. It's got to be there 100% of the time from training into the weekend. Otherwise, there's no point. You know, you can't switch that on and off. If you're not putting the intensity in training, you're not putting the intensity in the games. Now, that's what Bilic is there for. And we've had this question before about backroom staff. Does it need a change up? You know, does it need changing up? And I think it does. I think some fresh faces around the club might breathe a little bit of life into us, especially if what he's saying is they're not bringing the intensity to training. You know, someone's got to give a kick up the arse. Now, when I look at Bilic's body language on the sidelines, it's not great. He looks like a man lost, completely different from last season. Especially at home, he looks very, very isolated from his backroom staff. Maybe they should bring the benches forward or something when we play at home, but so he can chat to his staff, and that's, you know, I'm not saying that's a reason that we're losing, but you know, he looks like a man lost. The body language, he's got his hands on his hips, he doesn't really know what to do. Do we need a change? No, I don't believe we do. I think we should give him until January. Let's get through the last 3 or 4 games, the next 3 or 4 games, and see where we are then. Then I think it should be considered if it's still the same. The training, the intensity, you know, the passion doesn't change, then maybe he's not the guy to motivate him. So maybe we can start looking in. But at the minute, I would stick with him because changing the manager right now would maybe do more harm than good. But let's have a look what you say. There's lots of comments on this one. Once again, I get lots of comments every week. So let's start from the top. Kevin Baxter 2 says, personally I keep Slav, but I fear the more influential players don't want him. Defo ball / manager breakdown, I think that means. Defo ball / manager breakdown. I agree with that as well. I feel that's why I don't want to get rid of Slav too quickly. As I said, he does look like a man lost, but I also do feel that he's had his head put on a chopping block by poor signings. Now, whether they're his signings or not is another discussion, but we'll discuss that another time. But at Jack Essex Cable 1 says, I don't think he has. He's just letting the players know that he has noticed the players do try. They are not good enough. I think that means don't try. For example, Arthur and Oberloa, they try but are not good enough for this league. Agree with that. At Ray the Hammer says, it's pathetic that people think he's lost the dressing room because he said that. Did none of you play football? Yes, we did play football, but not at the top level. So, I don't know, man. Look, you can look at it one or two ways. The next 3 or 4 games will be pivotal into see what is actually going on. I don't think he's lost the dressing room personally, but you know, some people are starting to say that. At cycling_hammer says, the board did the same at Birmingham. It seems they never learn. Need to back Slav and give him a squad. Competition for places, because lack of investment in the summer, we have no options. Players know it. SB can't drop anyone. no one better to come in. And I agree with that. You know, he's stuck with the current crop of players because of injuries and things like that. So, yeah, he is stuck a little bit with that. At Dan JW17 says, no, he can only say so much. Down to the players to get their heads in gear and get us out of this mess. Totally agree with that. At West Ham, Josh V says, training isn't the main issue. The recruitment is the most concerning. Swap Prem players for cheap loan ones that are poor. I agree with that. Honestly, I 100% agree with that. I'm going to take one more off this. At GH90WHU says, we need some change because the players on Saturday gave up. We had comeback spirit last season. What has happened? And I think that's he tells you what's happened. It's the intensity in training that isn't working. So the next subject that we went on to was, if I can find it, number 2, yet more problems with the stewards at the game yesterday, banning, etc. The problems are getting worse. What are the answer to these stewarding problems? Now, at the time I was writing this, I hadn't seen the stuff with people being filmed. Long answer short is the answer to this is not an immediate answer. It'll be a gradual change. But the answer to this is for the board not to have let us be put in the hands of people that don't support our football club. Simple as that. At Upton Park, you know, they had the final say on the stewarding. Now they don't have the final say on it. People can say, you know, they can keep on saying it's the LLDC all they like, but at the end of the day, they're the ones that negotiate the deal. They're the ones that put us in the hands of the LLDC, so they have to take some responsibility as well. The stewarding isn't great at all. I don't really know what the agenda is. I don't know what the reasoning is behind it, but it just seems they want to wind people up. And you know, we see the other day, you know, there's people on the corner of stands now standing there with video cameras filming people, and you know what, as someone who sits in front of a video camera myself, I don't mind, but I know other people don't want that. And you know, they seem to be using the most stupid reasons to ban people for life. I don't know, it's not great, and you know, the club seem to be like they're losing the plot in terms of, you know, getting this stuff sorted out. They don't seem to be prioritising that, which I think they should be. At Gmurph1 says, I saw Stuart go downstairs, take high-vis jacket off, come up and want to fight the fan who pissed him off in block 217. There you go. Professionals don't do that. At the Ribman says, buy the stadium outright. That's the way we very true, Mark. You know, I love Mark. He's a good friend of mine, and you know, that is the obvious answer, isn't it? You know, you buy the stadium, you take control. Jake Loebman says, knock the fucking shithole down, build up the East Stand at Upton Park and move the fuck back. Sadly, mate, you know, there's a property developer that has spent a lot of money buying that land, and so that's not going to happen, sadly. At Red Eye Jedi says, sadly, I feel this is heading for one eventuality, a boycott until they listen to, address and answer our concerns. Now, I'm not a fan of protests altogether, but I feel that the fans are being treated so badly that this will come to that, and I think it rightly should come to it as well. You know, we need our voices heard, and that's what we try and do on this channel, is to get your voices heard. I know they watch this stuff. We'll leave it at that at the minute. So at Vaz18Flick77 say, stewards wearing Arsenal scarves and laughing over on Arsenal Fan TV. No accountability, a disgrace because it's cheap. It's okay. It's true. The club have got to be accountable for this stuff. I think they should be looking at stuff like that and making sure these people ain't working for the club again. At Dave Ashfree, the stewards, it seems, are not there to steward the crowd, but purely as a strong arm force to impose Karen Brady's will. I'll leave that there. At Alvin McAuliffe says, We need to find a way to employ our own stewards who have experience in football. Imagine Millwall versus West Ham, they wouldn't cope, and that's true. Very nearly happened, of course, in the FA Cup draw. It was 1 ball away. Chris Green at CG Forever says 89. West Ham, did you see Hammer and Talk's video on the illicit filming? Any thoughts? Also, stewards cheering the Arsenal goals on Saturday. No steward should cheer any goal at football. I used to actually work in that industry when I was a kid, and you know, I got sacked for cheering a West Ham goal, and I was working at Upton Park. So any stewards celebrating Arsenal goals, you know, should have been sacked on the spot. It's a shambles, to be quite honest. I'm going to take 2 more on this. At Jack Essex Cable 1 says our board needs to get involved and try and sort these problems. I have a feeling they won't. No, I totally agree. I don't think they will. And at Enigma UK _ Mike says kick Brady out, hire Upton Park stewards, or give me tools and I'll start rebuilding Upton Park. I'm sure there'll be plenty of volunteers to help, and I'm sure there will, mate, as well. Final subject, number 3, is a subject quite close to our hearts. Fan ban for a flag voicing an opinion. If you didn't see that, there was a fan ban the other day. I think I'm right in saying that the ban has been lifted since. And then we get told not to film. Will Silence's opinions end badly in the long run for the owners? Now, if you didn't see it, on Saturday, we've been filming at West Ham for almost 2 years now. First time ever that we've ever had any trouble about filming anything on the property that houses West Ham. Never had a problem at Upton Park, filmed inside and out. Never had a problem at London Stadium up till Saturday. Now, we got slung off by some stewards who basically said that it's West Ham's property, and you know, they're totally right. They're totally within their rights to do that. But the second part of this, will silencing opinions end badly in the long run for the owners? Now, one of the reasons we do West Ham Fan TV is I don't think fans have enough say and enough voice, and there's not a platform for us to speak to like-minded people without being goaded, without being enticed on the likes of TalkSport and things like that into getting into arguments. We start this so people can speak to like-minded people, you know, fans of West Ham can speak to us who are fans of West Ham, to voice an opinion, to put it on the internet, to, you know, get all these views by people that support the club. And, you know, as I said earlier on, I know full well that the club look at this sort of stuff. So they hear your voices, and that's why we do what we do. It seems, it's just my opinion, it's not a fact. It seems that they're hell-bent on now trying to silence people's opinions. Like with the flag, it was an opinion on Miss Brady, and it seems they want to put a stopper to these. And will it end badly? Yeah, because I think it's about time that, you know, we're not having the wall pulled over our eyes anymore as a football club and as football fans, especially in the last few years. It's, you know, it's blatantly obvious for there to see. Just because you don't say it doesn't mean it's not still there. So the negative vibes around the club, I think it's about time that the club should stand up to be accountable for and to face the negativity head on, because it upsets people and it ruins people's days, it ruins people's lives, it ruins, you know, as much as they want to sit up there in their ivory tower and, you know, pretend it isn't all going on, and then you know, if they shut us up, then no one can say anything bad. Well, you know, we're not going to shut up. We're going to carry on and on and on, whether that be on West Ham property or not. You know, and you know, as a fan base now, and because of this sort of fan media and this rise of fan media, and you know, the right to bring in a flag in and the right to voice an opinion in a football club, that you know that. It's better to meet this head on. You know, maybe they can give us some. You know, we say things and they never get to. They don't want to respond because I feel most of what we say is true. Not true to fact, but it's their true opinions of what we feel that they do right and they do wrong, and they're great taking the praise, but as soon as it starts getting negative, and this season has been extremely negative, and not just for us, but for the club, just telling people to shut up and banning them and doing things like that doesn't make the problems go away. So I wish, I don't want people accuse me and accuse my channel of being negative, of being damaging for the club. I don't want to be sitting here talking about negatives for the club. And I can forgive the football. You can have an opinion on football, but when the negativity surrounds the treatment of like-minded fans, people that pay hard-earned money, money that I'm not saying we haven't got, but money is a lot harder to come by for us than the people sitting at the top. I'll say that. So, when you've got people sitting at the top who don't know what it's like to be a fan, who don't know what it's like to go and sit on the terraces, who don't know what it's like to travel away in anything but a Rolls Royce, and they're treating people like absolute dirt when they shouldn't be treated like dirt. If you want to call us, this is the difference, right? If you want to call us customers and you don't want to call us fans, by rights call us customers. But what business? And that's what you want to say. It's a business rather than football. What business treats their customers like that? If you're businessmen and you're treating your customers like that, if I was in a restaurant and you sort of come over and told me to stop eating for enjoying my food, you'd never get me through the door again. And that's the difference between a restaurant and a football club. I have to go through the door again because I've got no alternative. And that's where they've got us by the short and curly, so to speak. So when the negativity surrounds the treatment of the people around me and the treatment of the people that watch these programs, it does. I won't shut up, and opinions do have to be aired. Let's take some of your comments at Big Dave. With social media now, they can't silence anyone. All this is a giant PR disaster by Brady. Totally agree with that. At Hammer Ben, just when you think the club couldn't sink any lower, no wonder Lady Shady wants to stay in the EU. At Adam 27996 is, to me, that's the final straw for the owner. That's censorship. What next? Banning people in the stadium. At CG Forever says, we are a football club, not North Korea. This dictatorship style from Brady must stop before the club becomes soulless. At Dan JW says, it will turn more and more fans against them. And that's that comment there is a reason why I get upset, because I was full of praise for the owners when they for what they'd done up to last season as well. They took over in difficult circumstances and then steadied the ship, and I feel like they're tarnishing their legacy a little bit as well. And that's sad, really, and it's all because of a business point of view. So anyway, it will turn more and more fans against them. We are entitled to our opinions, as it is our club. Anthony Afton said, was it not told to film or just outside the club? Yeah, it was a bit of both, mate, I think. At Enigma UK, Brady out, make the SAB mean something. Protest should happen. Issues is too many plastics in the ground who won't act. I'll take a couple more on this. At GH90WHU, Ryan made a great point a few weeks ago. All they want is the prawn sandwich in the seat. The atmosphere will die then. At Jake Loadman says, things will only get worse for the owners regarding this. Fans will do anything to get their voices heard. And one more. At Mark Sherburn says, disgraceful banning fan. Do we have a mass protest to show our anger on how we are being treated? Missed the Burnley game. I think that's easier said than done, my pal. But anyway, that's the end of this edition. As I said, there was going to be a double, but when I look back at the subject matter from last week, it was a little bit dated now. It was a little bit irrelevant, so we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for joining us on Monday Musings. I know it's Wednesday, I know it's late, but I was very, very ill yesterday, so I couldn't film. Don't forget to go and follow us on Twitter at West Ham Fan TV. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/West Ham Fan TV. Don't forget to go and check out all our other videos from the Arsenal game. Some brutally honest stuff on Post-Match Pint. There are upcoming previews with the Red Men TV and Scott's preview, FIFA stuff, Post-match pint coming up for the Liverpool games, of course. So don't forget to join that. One thing left to say, boys. Come on, you Iron.